Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Red Dragon Review. As always, I'm Akai Kami Ryu, and I present to you my review. Today, I am going to be reviewing another PS2 game that I came across a few years ago, well, several years ago, and I like it. I hope others will like it too. The game, Metal Saga. All right, there we go. Now for my review on it. The story. You are a hunter. That's it. Okay, I'll give you a little more backstory. It takes place in a very post-apocalyptic world, which the world is pretty much destroyed. Well, that's what post-apocalyptic means, but they didn't call it the apocalypse. They called it the Great Destruction. Anyways, hunters go around facing monsters that live in the fields that's between the towns. You face monsters, you get money. That's about it. Way to make money. Anyways, also hunters hunt down bounties, which are a lot of money. Now for the actual playability, you can play, this thing is open sandbox. You can do more or less whatever you want, wherever you want. There's not a lot of terms of dialogue choices whenever you get a chance to talk. Your protagonist is practically mute, even when he's having meaningful conversations with people. And not entirely sure what he says because it's all da 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 da. Yeah, so everyone's a mind reader. He's telepathic. He just zzz. That's all. That's all. Anytime I think about the silent protagonist, that's all I can think of. At least give you dialogue options or whatever. But you can't. Anyways, there are many different ways you can play this game. You can go through solo, which would be extremely difficult and honestly a little bit boring, in my opinion. Because whenever I have an RPG, I like to form a party, which you can do. You can gain up to 3 other party members. You get your choice of a mechanic, one of 2 mechanics, and one of 2 soldiers. And then one of 4 dogs. Yes, dogs with cannons on their backs. Oh, and speaking about cannons, another aspect of this game are the tanks. Yep, tanks. You, your mechanic, and your soldier can all drive these tanks. Don't ask me how, they just can. But anyways, these tanks add extra firepower and defense and allow you to face stronger enemies earlier on. They're a good thing to find. And again, like I said, you can do whatever you want. These tanks vary in styles. So you have very traditional looking tanks and then very different looking tanks. How different? The very first tank you are able to find when you play this game is called Buggy. Yes, an ATV with a cannon on it. And there are other ones. There's another one called Wild Bus. Yep. That's crazy. But that's what adds to the playability and the fun of it. I always have a muse in trying to collect all the tanks. Honestly, I can't. Because I honestly don't know if I got them all. Yep, that's one of the many different ways you can play this game. You can play this game to collect all the different tanks. You can play the way I mostly play, which is to try to collect all the bounties. Then you can send gifts to various girls. So there's an aspect of trying to find out if you could find the wedding ending with every girl there is. And there's several other events you can do depending on who you have with you. It's crazy. It's so open-ended, and you can play it any way you want. You can face the outlaws more or less in any order you want, which I would say right off the bat, be careful if you decide to do that. There are some that you can run into early in the game that will whoop your arse royally until you're like level 80 plus. Anyways, um, that's the whole story in the game itself, unless you want to go into specifics. Um, Now for I have to say the controls are very simple, very easy to manipulate. Soundtrack's real good, a lot of rock music based to it, which I really like. Um, Loading screens are a little laggy. One of my vices for it. Um, Also, the aspect of only having a total of 4 party members, I didn't really like. I wanted to see if I could have everyone. But then again, with 4 people, it makes sense. Not having any more than that, I'll deal with it. Um, One of my biggest vices, however, I have to say with this game, is the titles option that your character gets. Your character will gain a title depending on what he does or doesn't do, at a which almost seems to be random at times. However, you will gain titles without any real notification, or you will gain titles without your title actually changing, which I found extremely annoying. Um, Want to know how I know you gain titles without your title actually changing? There is a stat that says the no number of titles your hero gained. And is there a way to check what you gained? No. There's no way to verify or check or say what title you actually gained. So you have no idea, oh, if I did this, I got this title. No, there's practically nothing unless your title changes immediately after an event. There's no real way to check, which is extremely annoying at my point. What if it just changed because of what you did or didn't do? Fine, whatever. But don't leave a bloody stat that says how many you gained, because I would actually like to see what I did. That's just my personal vice on that. Um, Another vice you could say I have with this is that because there's no real ending, there's no real plot to this point, there's no real way to keep track of what you've done or haven't done. So if you played the game for a while and then put it on the shelf for a few months and then put it back in to try pick up your game, you are going to be like, what was I doing? You have no clue because there's no progression. I could easily put in one of my Final Fantasies and be like, oh, I'm at this point, so that meant I've done ABC. You put this in after a few months, good luck trying to figure out what you did. Anyways, that's about all I can say about this. I wholly recommend it to at least try it out and see how you like it, and try to play it through for a while and have some fun with it, because you can do whatever you want in it. Till next time, I'm Akai Kami Ryu, signing off.